Hi, I'm making this video for you just to show you 5 tips on how you can sell a lot more jewelry, a lot more of the jewelry that you make. Okay, literally you could be selling 10, 20, even 100 times more than you're selling right now. So the idea is I'm going to show you 5 of the tips in this video. I'm not going to chat for too much. I'm going to try to go through it as quickly as I can. Firstly, I'm Rob Anderson. I'm a full-time crafter since the 80s. I made a full-time living from crafting through the 90s into the wherevers. And from 2008, while I still did crafting, I then switched to doing full online marketing. I went online to sell my own products after the 2008 financial crash. That started with property in the USA, and I went on to help crafters. It's what I've been doing for a long time. Help crafters build their website, do their SEO, and sell more of their crafting. It evolved to when in the end I was helping anybody that was running a business and doing normal SEO, etc., etc. Just a quick comment. The point of this video is to show you some of my tips, so that you might want to go ahead and get the Kindle book that I've got with 59 tips that you can use to implement and get more sales. So starting at tip number 1, okay, if you do nothing else, this is the tip that will double your sales instantly, and that is make and take more stock to the shows. So this is if you're a vendor only. And I'm not talking a little bit more, I'm talking so much stock that it's floor to ceiling on all 3 or more walls in your booth. And not just floor to ceiling, deep, 2 or 3 deep on some of the shelves, that people have to look at what's behind. And even if you're able to book and take and do double booth, if you're the kind of vendor that's already done well on a show, you're experienced, you've been at this 3 years, 5 years, doesn't matter, and you know which markets are good, ignore the little ones, make all that extra stock, book a double booth at the good ones, and literally go floor to ceiling. I'm going to tell you other tips on that. Equally, if you're online, don't just put your 5 products on, put every single one, put them in 15 different places, put them on your website, put them everywhere, put them on Etsy if that's where you want to be, put them on Pinterest, put them everywhere. Make and list more and more and more of your stock. I promise you, if more stuff is seen, it'll sell. But more importantly, at the markets, as a vendor, if you've just got stuff piled fairly nicely and beautifully, all your experience on your table, yay for that. Let me go to this tip number 2. Tip number 2 is mostly aimed at craft markets, but it works equally online, is display your product like a store. So the saddest thing in the world I've seen after years and years of doing this is vendors teach each other to get a table and then 2 tables, and then they argue about U-shape and V-shape and Z-shape patterns, and must they be the tablecloths that pull and stretch and hook on the feet, or should they those are all tables. Do you go into your jewelry store and find 3 ladies standing in the doorway at a table with all their jewelry on the table? No, you don't. Sure, there's counters, and for the expensive jewelry underneath glass, put that. If you've got expensive jewelry, get glass or perspex because of your traveling, but put it under perspex with lights. I've seen that on the markets way back, oh hell, years back, where you had their booth had a door. You had to come in like it was an actual jewelry shop, a jewelry store, and it was so powerful. Their prices were 5 times everybody else's. They had all this store-style lighting with store-style, call them glass, I suspect it was perspex, counters, and they did very, very well. You went in and shut the door and it was quiet. Anyway, display like a store. Go and look at a jewelry store, get ideas there, I promise you. And so if you were displayed like a store with literally 10 times the stock you took somewhere else, and by the way, you needn't display like a high-end store. And one of the most successful jewelry guys I know used to literally pitch up with a Sprinter van. His display, they were clipped together and folded like a book, but we're talking about a 7-foot high book, and I don't know how deep they were, 3 feet deep and 7 foot high, and he literally opened them out like a V, clipped them. They had clipped things, and instantly only had adjustable feet because he didn't know where he was going to be, on a street, side of the road, on a piece of slopey ground. So you'd wind the feet so that they adjusted to where they were standing, and he always had a helper. And so that helper was literally standing and selling from those first thing that got opened in 2 minutes. And he'd drag another one out on wheels from his Sprinter van, and in 10 minutes he'd have 6 or 8 or 10 of these huge V things. He'd put them in batches of 4, so it literally made a big X of. It was impressive to see, and the amount of stock he had there, and his packing way was simple. He just clipped it closed, tipped it over, and loaded it in his van, and he was gone again. Proper hippie. It was impressive. So, display like a store. I promise you, you will not be sorry at all. Let's go and see what my tip number 3 is. This is massive. I should have made this tip number 1. Research your product, people, in massive detail. I have got this entire website of mine. If you're on my website, I hope you are. If not, find a link and get there. Is on things to make and sell. My obsession is with keywords. My obsession is with finding those queues of people. I see a keyword as a queue of people. If somebody's looking up bohemian blue, jade, doesn't matter, jade, bohemian bracelets in jade, those people, even if there's only 20 of them or 200 or 2,000, if they're looking that up, it's because they're interested in it. It's a queue of people. A third of them are holding money in their hand, their credit cards. They want to buy it from you. All you have to do is make sure you're the person in front of them. And to do that, you need to have a piece of content titled, well, preferably 20 pieces of content titled, whatever I called it, jade necklaces, whatever it is, bohemian, So those are your keywords, and find the keywords. People, research that. Just have a look. All over my website is keywords. If you knew. So I'm going to hold you up a bit on this tip number 3. Let me give you an example. Back in the 90s, I switched from jewelry, and I was making other things first, but I started to make hammock chairs because I loved them. And I'm a carpenter, and I knew how to make them easily, and I made mine big and magnificent, and they outsold everybody else's. Yay for me. The point was, and this is very, very important, when I learned about going online, so this is, 10 years later, when I went on, more than 10 years later, or 15 years, when I went to sell my things online, I looked up how many people were looking up hammock chairs per month in South Africa, which was where I was living at that time. I'm in Canada now. But in South Africa, back in the day, 50 people a month were looking up hammock chairs. 50. In the whole country, yay. I was also, by that stage, making benches. 15,000 people a month were looking up benches. So what should I have been making? Benches or hammock chairs from day one? Duh, idiot. So, lesson learned. I switched to benches, by the way. I never did stop making. So where was that? Tip number 3. Research. Keep keywords, people. It's massive. If you knew what people wanted, make that. Promote that. Right, tip number 4 is, this is an online marketing thing, and I highly suggest, even if you're still only promoting yourself on a booth on markets, get a decent website. It's not hard to do. It's not, I don't know coding, I don't have the time. Yeah, it's like saying I don't want money. And do not get Shopify. Do not get Wix or Weebly or Blogger. Don't get a free one. And even Shopify is not free. In fact, it's far more expensive than self-hosting. They own your property. if they decide one day that you've broken the rules in whatever way, you are dead in the water. It might take 5 years. You might be so successful in 5 years' time that your Etsy and what was that Shopify store together are pumping thousands. And between Etsy and Shopify, you finally decide, oh, I'm going to do Disney stuff, and bingo, you're banned on both. If gone, your entire business gone overnight. You've literally got to start from scratch. If you'd have had a self-hosted website, you would have got a fine, a cease and desist thing, letter, a lawyer's letter, but your website will still exist. You go and remove the Disney stuff, which you shouldn't have done in the first place, from your website, and business carries on. So self-hosted website, WordPress. If you do that, find on my website how to get a free premium theme installed. That's what I do. If you use my affiliate link to get your hosting. Oh, yeah. So also, don't just get any hosting, please. I know that, sorry about this, GoDaddy. Don't get GoDaddy. They're known as some of the bigger, they've got millions, so powerful, good for them. Are they the best hosting? No, they're the best at marketing. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. I haven't used GoDaddy for 15 years for good reason. In the hundreds, yeah, maybe hundreds and hundreds of clients I've had over the years. I don't have any more, many now. I've got a few, but mostly I don't do it anymore. I'm blogging for myself and showing you how to do it. So, self-hosted website, use my affiliate link, and I will install the WordPress for you. I'll give you videos to do it. Lovely for me. But most importantly, these keywords and things that you do, your content, it's all so easy. If I haven't got a course that I can send you to look at, click, phone, email me, and I will make one or send you to one. I've got one that's old. It might be good enough. I don't know. By the way, old is pre-COVID. Is that 2019? And that's embarrassing that things have changed so much in 5 years that that I'm embarrassed to tell you about it. Okay, tip number 5 is massive too. If you'd used your keyword research correctly and you found out that people are absolutely loving buying, I don't know, acorn butterfly signet rings. Wow, that was so weird. I don't know where I got that from. It doesn't matter. A specific thing. Puzzle rings. If people are making and looking for puzzle rings like crazy, right? So you've researched that through keyword research. That's fun. Then you go into a place like Pinterest and you publish 20 or 30 pictures of puzzle rings every day. You don't just do it. You have to go and learn how to do Pinterest properly. It's easy enough. There's lots of places that will show you how. Pinterest itself will do that. And if you're doing your pins correctly and regularly, and a minimum of 5 a day, every day, it'll take a month or 3, more like 3. But at some point, people looking up puzzle rings are going to come to Pinterest and find 10 of your examples on the first page of the results. And with those 10, you're going to get sales. You're going to get sales, literally get your sales to even though I'm already on 13 minutes, I want to tell you a story many years ago. Phew. 10, 12 years ago, I've got no idea. I bought a course on Pinterest marketing. Wow, it was when I very first started. Yeah, it really is long ago, my bad. Anyway, his course was excellent, and he was a yoga person. And he had a course on doing yoga, and he had a website on it. And while he was talking through it, he was doing a bit like I'm recording just this thing as a PowerPoint doc, but he was recording his screen live, and he logged into his website, and down at the bottom I paused it and went back, and there were 18,000 people on his website at that very minute while he was making the video. He never even mentioned it. He scrolled right past and showed us something else, and I paused and went back and thought, 18,000 people on my website from Pinterest. I want to be that guy. I've never got 18,000 in a day, by the way. Also, I don't try hard enough. So, do as I say, don't do as I do. Tip number 5, use social media properly. Pinterest by far is the best first. TikTok is working very well if you can make little fun videos. And then after that, it's the old things. Facebook is resurging. Instagram is okay. A lot of people think Instagram is the be-all and end-all, but no, it's not. It's not a search engine. Pinterest is a search engine. They go there to look for gift ideas and click and buy. It's so powerful. Okay, so that's it, guys. It took me 15 minutes to tell you that I do have a course, and it's called 59 Tips, etc., etc. It'll be on the page on my website if that's where you are. Go and buy that. It's cheap. If you buy the Kindle one, it's $6 or $8 or something. It's really worth it, because from 59 tips, I cover tips like on how to research your craft at the craft markets. And to tell you how that works is you pick your, let's say now my craft is going to be furniture, but I want to sell a wood product. So anything that I can make as a woodworking product. And by the way, one big tip is try to sell $20 and less items. So I would have found that out if I'd gone to the markets and literally walked around. I was at one last week here in Canada. It was in Simcoe. It was the county fair for Brant. It had huge pumpkins and it was massive. It was a 5-6 day event. If I'd have gone through there researching, not like I did enjoying and buying a squeegee to wash my windows, I would have made a note of all the woodworking people in there. I also, by the way, because I'm market and I've trained people on how to do, so I notice things like I saw a guy with a booth. He must have taken up five booth spaces, and it was all printed t-shirts, printed hoodies, and I can tell you now that that guy, in the 6 days, he made $100,000. I've got no idea. I know in the past people like that did make that kind of money, $110,000, $115,000 in a big week-long show. So, wow, I got distracted. So, how to research at the markets? Go and look at all of those. Make notes. Sit down far from the guy and watch what he does. Watch what people look at. Are they going to touch this, touch that? I don't do shows often, by the way. I did one about a month ago, 3 weeks, who knows. Nearly a month ago, in 3 days' time. Wow. Very interesting. Sorry about my WhatsApp squeezing in there. It's my new dog. They never even looked at my signs. I was doing it on purpose. I had about 5 variety of wooden products. The signs were $5 and $10. You think that it sold fastest? That's the rule. Anything under 20. My coat racks, the 4 hooks on a piece of wood that you mount on your wall, hang your coats. Those sold well, mostly because they were 20 or less. Well, mostly they were 20 or 30. Anyway, the point is that if you were researching it, you'd look and you'd watch the guy and you'd see what people do and you'd make notes. You were even in the 59 tips book. I tell you, don't rely on one visit to one market. Go to 5 markets. Even once you're selling on the markets, tell your helper, your wife, your husband, the kid next door, just watch my stuff. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Take a walk about and look and see, oh, there's a guy with welcome signs that I can make those. Remember, I'm still talking about wood. There's a guy selling chopping boards, cutting boards, charcuterie board. Is that the blah, blah, blah. Somebody else with bird houses, and you make a note. In fact, photograph their stock, walk away, hour's time, take a quick walk, photograph those 5 wooden stalls. An hour later, 5 pictures. When you get home that night, go and look to see how many pieces have disappeared from those stalls every hour. You'll be able to analyze which guys are doing good, and that's the kind of research that makes you rich. And after a while, you'll stop doing things and start doing other things because your keyword research told you they're good, and then your physical test out on the markets works. So, sorry, what's next? If you don't have the money to pay for my book, I get it. I don't have a problem. Half the time in my life, I'm there. Test out these tips I've just told you about. Seriously, and if you find that one of them suddenly gave you a 30% spike in sales, you're done. Okay, thanks for your time and trouble. By the way, just for fun, sorry, now I'm on to 20 minutes of your life, but it's marketing. This video has been added to my landing page because I purposely had it very, very simple. But in truth is I was sending you to a page 99% certain from Pinterest that said how to sell more jewelry tips, da 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 da. If I didn't give you a single tip and sent you straight to my book, I felt that was a bit unfair. So now you got 5 tips, 20 minutes of your life used up. Triple your sales over the next month or two. It's worth it. Thanks, guys. Take care. And best of luck out there on the markets and on the websites and online with your stuff. One last free tip, number 6. Once you're running at your maximum, you just can't anymore. You're exhausted. There's not even time to eat pizzas anymore. Or drink beer, whatever you do. Switch to a digital product, switch to courses, switch to plans of what you make, switch to whatever it is, because that side of your business can easily become $100,000 a month. Let's just say you at full max, your profit, no, not turnover, with your crafting is say $10,000 a month. You've got it to your max. You just can't. You've researched the best products. You're on the best shows. You're just driving and running and absolutely exhausting. Your husband's gone somewhere. You don't even have a clue where. You last saw him 3 weeks ago. Sorry, that's not a funny joke. My bad. Anyway, if you'd have switched it all to digital downloads on Etsy, on I've got no idea, craft planners, but specifically step-by-step stuff on what you make, whatever it is, put them out there. And even if it's a $2 download and you're downloading 200 of them a month, a day, it's $400 a day. You know, so somewhere along the way, if you get that right, I can show you that, and I'm supposed to sooner or later show you how to do all of that on this website. Who knows if I'll ever get to that. I hope I will. Okay, good luck again. Take care. Cheers.